Hi, Facebook friends. Helen Arcantu here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm so happy to have some time with you today. It is April, our first, broadcast in April, and we are in April. We always take time here at the YWCA to focus on Sexual Assault Awareness Month. As those of you who are familiar with our organization know, we are the home of Healing Space, which is Bergen County's only sexual violence resource center, and it is the state designated program to support sexual violence survivors for Bergen County. And, since 2001, April has been designated Sexual Assault Awareness Month through the National Sexual Violence Resource Center. And it is an opportunity for us to, although obviously we do this work year round and supporting survivors is core for us. We do take this opportunity in April to do some additional programming, some additional outreach prevention efforts, to educate our community and provide some additional support to our survivors. And so with that, today was a great opportunity to start the month and to bring on today our Healing Space director, Saimaza Sadak, who is with us to share information on our support services, our events, our programs. We have an amazing team at Healing Space that she has been leading with us. I can't say that she's been with us for how long now?
Well, in almost 2 years.
I was going to say, I'm thinking we're coming on 2 years. I can't call you new anymore. But she's been with us for 2 years. She's done and she has a wonderful team working that are so committed to this work and so committed to our survivors and to our community. Let me start by sharing a little bit about our 2-year director's background with you. She is a MSW and an LSW who is dedicated to social justice advocacy, specifically gender and sexuality, equity, diversity, racial justice, violence and prevention efforts are all been at the core of the work that she's done, even prior to joining us here at Healing Space. She specifically has devoted so much of her career to power-based personal violence by developing primary prevention educational programs, managing a coordinated community response team, and building partnerships to enhance services for survivors of both sexual violence and domestic violence. Throughout her career, she has focused her efforts on increasing access to services for underserved populations. She serves as a field instructor for students pursuing their graduate degrees in social work, and she offers crisis intervention, counseling, and case management services through a community and mental health setting. She has a Bachelor of Arts in Women's and Gender Study with a minor in Social Justice from William Patterson University and a Master's of Social Work from Rutgers University. And so with that, we welcome you to the show again. I know that this is not your first time joining us. We're so happy to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. You could say I'm a veteran on YWTV, but we're not going to go that far. Thank you for the introduction. I always say, sitting through the introductions, right, you get to hear, sitting in your work is really empowering as a woman, right? Hearing your background and, I always say, should I shorten it? And then I say, no, hold on to it, embrace it, and it'll empower somebody else, right? So thank you for giving it space and talking through it.
Absolutely. I say this all the time because I have so many of the guests say, oh, that was so long. And I say, you worked for it, you earned it. And it's important for you to hear it and to soak it in. And as you just shared, I agree. I think it's important for others to hear we definitely, that's part of what YW at the core is all about is, sharing stories, sharing life experiences to help each other on our journeys. It's like a hand out there for another hand to grab for sure. So I'm so glad that you could be with us. Obviously, we have these conversations about this work very regularly, you and I. Today, we're just inviting everyone else to sit with us for one of our conversations for sure. So let's start, before we talk about healing space and our specific work there, which of course we have, we talk regularly about throughout the year, let's talk about Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Let's tell our viewers a little bit about, what it is, why it is, and how, what in our organization, what we focus on during this time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, so we do have these conversations constantly. I have these conversations with the staff in Healing Space. So shout out to them because I know some of them are out here watching. So hello, and I'm grateful that you're here. So Sexual Assault Awareness Month it's really about both awareness and prevention, right? So it's the awareness and prevention of sexual assault, any type of harassment, abuse, and the point of it is to look at the history of the movement to end sexual violence and how do you do that, right? How do you end something if you don't know it's an issue? So April, and it was 2001. It was nationally recognized. I know you said that earlier as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and through this month, educators, advocates, social workers, clinicians, professors, I mean, everybody that has a vested interest in this movement really works in overdrive. Where we say we work all month for April 1st and then we rest on May 1st. And when I say rest, it's very loosely rest, right? And part of, you know, social change and equality started to gain traction. It was like in the 40s and the 50s during the civil rights era. And talking about this issue wasn't really out in the open. It was very quiet. It was people were experiencing it, but it wasn't open. There wasn't open dialogue around it. And the realities, right? Both sexual violence and domestic violence, because we know there is a strong intersection between these two crimes. Now, the efforts to kind of champion this was, of course, led by Black women and women of color that kind of brought this to the forefront. And the person that kind of pops in my head is Rosa Parks, right? We all know the story of Rosa Parks, but gender-based violence and race-based, gender-based violence all kind of intersected, and she really brought that to the forefront. And all other, Black women and women of color. So part of that, and then so then it was like the late 80s early 90s, it was we got that term intersectionality, which we all use, right? And we, in Healing Space, one of the things that we do is we see our work through an intersectional feminist perspective, right? So that was really that's important to mention because that is kind of where the movement started, right? So that is, and we continue, right? We continue to work and champion and advocate and talk about this issue, right? Because once we think it gets better, it doesn't go away. I know you and I say this all the time. We can't wait till this goes away so we don't have a job. We want to work ourselves out of a job. So prevention and awareness and the talking about it and bringing it up to the forefront is helpful because then we can legislate policy around it. We can talk through it. Open dialogue is important. And here's another thing, it dispels shame, right? Because shame thrives in silence. So if we're not talking about this, people who are experiencing it are going to still live in that box of shame that is associated with those who experience sexual violence. So
yes. Yes. So, obviously, as you shared, I mean, it's just a tremendous opportunity to be able to, bring attention to the issues, educate others on ways that they can support survivors, make sure that we keep these issues at the forefront for the media, for our elected officials. And, we know that through the Me Too movement, probably most recently, and over these last few years, there definitely has been more conversation around sexual violence than we'd ever seen before. But even with that, we still have not really grasped as a society that we really do need to believe and support survivors fully. So there's obviously a sect of us, who are very focused on, making this kind of a mainstream understanding for all. And I think that that is part of what this advocacy of this month is about too, is to try to bring more people to understand why that's important and how they can participate. And So let's switch and talk a little bit about Healing Space and our work there, and then we can come back to some of what we have put together, to highlight during this month. So for those who don't know about the work of Healing Space, could you share a little bit about what the focus of our program is? And again, as we both have said, I mean, the team is outstanding and so dedicated and experienced. As I always share, if you have a heart problem, you want to go to a cardiologist. If you have been impacted by sexual violence, this is the team that you want to see, because they have very specialized training and care, to be able to provide in this area.
Absolutely. And, they are consistently and constantly seeking out continued education and professional development and really sharpening their skills. So we appreciate that. So, healing space, the word healing is at the heart of everything that healing space does, right? So when we talk about healing space, space is an acronym, and so the S stands for support. So we do support, P for prevention, advocacy, counseling, and empowerment. And what Healing Space is, the state designated lead agency for Bergen County. We're the premier sexual violence resource center in all of Bergen County. Bergen County is one of the larger counties in the state. And we have a 24-hour crisis hotline. And what that is that we have trained confidential sexual violence advocates that staff this hotline and that are available for support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know the hotline number is on the screen, but I will repeat it for anyone that's watching. It is 201-487-2227. And we have a phenomenal group of CSVAs, they're called, who staff this hotline. If you have been recently sexually assaulted, if you were sexually assaulted 50, 60, 70 years ago, 2 minutes ago, 2 years ago, they are there to support you. So that is one of the essential services that Healing Space offers. The other service that we provide is we have prevention, education, and outreach. And that is the very talented group that goes out into the community and talks about this. So I always say we're all busy in Healing Space, but prevention, education, and outreach is the busiest because they are really out there spreading the word, raising awareness and education around the issue. And they do that all year round, right? And then we also have case management and our clinical services. And this is a group, they are all licensed clinicians. And what they do is they provide counseling. So they're the aftermath, right? So once you've been affected by sexual assault, trauma is real. It lives in our body. It lives in our, it manifests in every part of our world. So they are there to help through that process and through the healing journey. So we have a very talented group of clinicians that is led by a fantastic clinical supervisor. And they are here to help and support and provide therapy. We also have group counseling, right? So we have a loved ones group. So, oftentimes when someone's affected by sexual assault or in sexual violence, it's not just them, right? It's not one person that's affected. It's everyone around you is affected by this. So not only do we provide support for those who experience the crime and the violence, but those around them. Because if there's a partner or there's a child or a parent, they want to know how to support their loved one. And we have a group, right? We have a loved ones group that is led by a licensed social worker, and they are, they help that healing, right? I keep going back to the word healing because, it really is at the heart of everything that Healing Space does. We have an art therapist that provides group and individual therapy as an adjunct to the traditional psychotherapy that the clinicians are providing. We provide medical and legal accompaniments. Survivors have the choice if they want to report or they don't want to report, if they want to go through the legal process or they don't want to go through the legal process. And our confidential sexual violence advocates are there to walk with them through that process. So yeah, that is what we do. And we do much, much more, but that is really the heart of everything that we do. Yeah.
And I think, there was obviously so many important pieces in what you shared, but that last piece, I just want to, highlight and bring attention to also that irrespective of if a survivor wants to file, go down the legal route and, these services are available to them. These are not pieces that go hand in hand. And sometimes, you need this healing piece to be able to, as Saimaza said, work with you. And I want to thank, we've got one of the best advocates and one of my mentors watching, Carol Escalzo, thanking us for our work and saying that, she, would like us to, please address that people have difficulty understanding what has happened to them when they've been sexually assaulted. And that's especially true when they are young. And that is part of what the team at Healing Space does, is help them process and work through the trauma to be able to gain an understanding. And, I can't tell you how many survivors over the course of my time with the YWCA that I have spoken to that have, just shared how the time with the clinicians from our team has really helped them be able to, gain a better understanding of what's happened to them and help them be able to live with, still live and get back to, living a life where, this is not the center of every moment for them. It's just, it's able to be able to take a place through their therapy, through the work that they've done, whether it's through the creative art therapists or whether it's through the clinicians, to be able to help them process it and, live with the fact that this is something that happened to them in their life, but it does not have to take over their entire life, for sure. So Carol, thank you for raising that so that we can reinforce that. Anything further you'd like to say about that piece, Saimaza?
I just, no, I think you got it. The one thing I did want to mention is that all of the services in Healing Space are completely free. So it does not, you are not charged a penny, you are not billed to your insurance, everything is completely free. We are fortunate to be the lead state designated agency. We have generous funders and the way in which we are funded. So everything is completely free. So I think that's also very important, that this is not going to, cost you anything to seek these services and support.
Yes, and also, we know that there's, for so many survivors, such a need for confidentiality around, what's happened to them, and sometimes they fear using their insurance to get therapy and support services, and because they don't want anyone to, they fear someone having access to their records or an understanding of what happened to them. You're not faced with dealing with any of that through Healing Space. As Saimaza said, it is 100% free. We do not ask you to provide, any kind of insurance services. We're just here to support you and work you through, with the team in place to be able to help you process and work through. And again, we know that sexual violence can happen at any age and stage in life. It is not can happen to anybody. There's no discriminating when it comes to sexual violence from that perspective. So again, it's so important to be able to have folks like the team at Healing Space who are specialized in dealing with sexual violence to be able to support our survivors. I think this is a good time for us to show a new public service announcement that was created for Healing Space. It really is. It has a really nice job of tying up what the services are in a really simple but clear to understand way. So we'll take a moment so our viewers can see the PSA that was created.
WCA Northern New Jersey's Healing Space is Bergen County's premier sexual violence resource center. One of Healing Space's essential services is the 24/7 crisis hotline, which is accessible by phone, text, or web chat. The Healing Space hotline is completely free and staffed by trained confidential sexual violence advocates who are able to provide crisis intervention, resources, support, and medical and legal accompaniments. For immediate assistance, call or text the Healing Space hotline phone number to be connected with an advocate. or visit the Healing Space website and look for the prompt to begin a live chat. No matter how long ago or recent you were affected by sexual violence, Healing Space is here to support you.
So we're so happy to share that public service announcement with you. That's something we will be launching, during this month. So people will know where to call and what services they can expect when they reach out to us. And I really do appreciate, and it's one of the things we've really worked at to make the services accessible and kind of change with the times. So there was a time when we were just a 24-hour hotline, but now there are other modes to be able to access our services. Could you speak to that a little bit, Saimaza?
Yeah, absolutely. So pretty soon, survivors and their loved ones and anyone looking to access services no longer just will have the opportunity to call. They could also text. And what you do is our hotline number, you plug in the hotline number in your text as if you were about to text a friend, and you can chat with a confidential sexual violence advocate. We are so tethered to our devices, right? So there's good and bad with that, and we're changing with the times. So it makes it accessible for those who maybe their first interactions with us they're more comfortable texting, they're more comfortable writing it out as opposed to speaking it. So we do have that is going to kick off very soon, and it's 201-487-2227, and you just save it in your phone if it's safe and okay to do so, and they will be able to both call in, chat through their texting, and also there's a web chat. So you can go into our website, you can put in chat with an advocate, and you'll be able to speak with someone.
So can you tell us a little bit about what is planned for Sexual Assault Awareness Month? I know that there's some specific programs that are both for the community to be able to learn more, and also specifically for survivors as well.
Yes, absolutely. So today we're kicking off and the Sexual Assault Awareness Month Day of Action. And what that is that we are asking, and us along with other advocates around the nation are really asking to make a social statement and to wear teal, right? Find something teal, which is the color of sexual violence prevention, and to show your support and your commitment to supporting survivors. And I think it's like hashtag Sam 2022. And, we can go in there and view them and kind of showing your support for survivors in your life. The one that I'm excited for is on April 6th, which is, I believe, tomorrow. We are having our hotline services department is having a talk around the connection between sexual violence and eating disorders and how that manifests. So we're really excited and looking forward to that. On April 7th, which I believe is Thursday, our clinical case manager is hosting an event titled Get to Know Healing Space, right? So this was just like a little appetizer of what we do. Getting to know Healing Space and the different services we provide is available at that event. We another event that we're doing that is really in need is that people always ask us, how do I get involved? How do I become a CSVA? What does it take? What do I need to do? And our hotline service department is hosting an entire event around what does it take, right, to be a confidential sexual violence advocate? What do you have? What does it entail, right? So there'll be an event for that. Our clinical supervisor is hosting a community presentation in Spanish, right? And how to support survivors after an assault. So that is something that we are looking forward to. That is April 18th. And this is posted on our social media. It's posted on our website. So I'm rattling them off right now, but there is places where it lives. And then we have Denim Day, right? So Denim Day is April 27th. And it's another thing where you wear, you make a social statement by your fashion, if you will, right? And wearing denim to support survivors of sexual violence. I know we're working with Ramapo College. I know they're hosting a big Denim Day fashion show. So we're excited to be a part of that. the next event that we have is April 28th. And so in the past 2 years, because of COVID, everything has gone virtual, right? People are going to school virtually, people are working virtually, people are, the virtual remote world is alive and well. And digital consent has been the topic of conversation recently. So our prevention education coordinator is hosting a workshop on April 28th talking about digital consent and what does that mean and how do you practice digital consent. So I'm looking forward to that one. Our coffee house, we have a coffee house every month. So our art therapist is going to host a virtual coffee house in honor of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So we're looking forward to that. And yeah, so we have quite a few events happening. It's a mouthful, but yes, this lives somewhere, so you will be able to look through it and view it and attend the ones that you are able to. There are links, so it has everybody's name and contact information where you can reach out to, and they will send you a link and sign you up.
And for our viewers, we'll be putting in the comments here the link so that you can go and see all of these opportunities for you in detail. If you're following us on social media, whether you're following the YWCA of Northern New Jersey pages on Facebook and Instagram, or whether you're following the YWCA Northern New Jersey Healing Space page that is on Facebook, there is a listing of all of these events there as well. So you can click to them to sign up for them individually and stay connected. We do hope that our survivors in the community, whether you're already connected to Healing Space or you're learning about it for the first time or something you've been contemplating but just haven't gotten there yet, we do hope that you take an opportunity to participate in one of these programs. Again, they're all free, confidential, and a great opportunity for you to be able to learn more about ways that we can support you, meet our staff, and hopefully gain a comfort level to get some support from Healing Space. For those of you in the community that just want to learn more, we hope that you join some of those other events that are available for you as well. Healing Space, as we've shared, this is our work year round. This is not necessarily something that we just showcase for you one time of year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The hotline is available to you, and those trained confidential sexual violence advocates are there to answer your call, talk with you about, how you're feeling at the moment. And, if you're interested, be able to speak to you about what services are available so that you can get some additional support as if interested and as needed. So it's a wonderful opportunity for you to learn more today. We thank you for joining us, Saimaza, and giving us, so much detail about the program, about the services, so many great opportunities to stand up with survivors. If you would like to take a picture wearing teal and share, you'll be seeing some of the photos that our team has put together at the YWCA will be showcased today and throughout the month. And also, if you'd like to partake in Denim Day, again, which is there's a tremendous history about the origin of Denim Day as well. And we'll be talking about that at that event too. So with that, thank you all for joining us today. We do hope, again, that you can go to our website, you can go to our social media pages, you can call the hotline, and you can learn more about this program. You can learn more about the services and any of the initiatives that we are hosting in particular this month. Again, there's lots of ongoing support groups, both for loved ones, for LGBTQIA+ communities, for survivors, our coffee house. So not only are there individual opportunities for support, but there is also, many opportunities for peer support as well. And we do encourage you to connect with them. And with that, we look forward to spending some time with you later in the week with YWTV. We have 3 other episodes airing this week. starting with tomorrow. So I hope you can join us for those. And we also will be putting into the comments for you some links so that you can maybe join us for some of the other initiatives that are happening at the YW, whether you're a youth looking for camp, for vacation day opportunities for the week that school is off. For parents, we have opportunities there. We have our Racial Justice Awards on April 25th is a great place to be able to honor people in our community that are working to eliminate racism, and businesses and organizations, and lots of great programs for our seniors as well. So links to everything are here for you. Please consider joining us. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today and share this detail. And again, many thanks to you and the entire team at Healing Space for your commitment and your support for survivors in our community.
Of course, thank you for having us.
And thanks to everyone who joined us today watching. We hope that this information was useful to you. And, if it's not something that you are in need of at this particular moment, good that you know it and hopefully can pass it along to someone in your life if the need does arise. All right, everyone, take care. Be well. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.